Minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. Let us continue Chapter 2, Systems Design, Job Order Costing. We are currently in Module number 4. So in Module number 4, we will prepare journal entries to record cost in a job order costing system. Now, there are examples that are actually shown more in other succeeding modules. So we'll just show the shape, the format, but these examples are shown in succeeding example. They are better explained in those modules because they have corresponding T accounts, they are corresponding records that you can compare. Okay? So, however, in this module, we just have to familiarize of doing this. So, when doing this, because this is journal entry, I would like you to get your general journal sheet or book and try to write down this repeatedly. So you have what date, description, so write work in process, then manufacturing overhead. So write it down. So just what? Put an amount under the debit. So you can see here is X, so 5X, but put an amount that you like. Any amount will do. Okay? And whatever amount you put on the debit, the same amount have to be put on the credit side. Okay? Same. So practice this. Practice writing it down. Write it down. Okay? There will come a time that I will check this in our live lecture. I will ask you to show me your practice. Practice it. So minimum 10 repetitions. Okay? Minimum. You can do 20, 30. So that is necessary because it is journal entry practice. Okay? So let us continue. Work in process is increased when manufacturing overhead is applied to job. So work in process will increase, therefore it is debited. Okay? So we already know the rules of debit and credit in financial accounting. So you can just watch our video lecture for that specific knowledge. Okay? How can we know that work in process is debited? How can we know that manufacturing overhead is credited? There are explanations specific to that in our financial accounting. How do we know it? Okay. So if we apply manufacturing overhead to work in process, therefore work in process is increasing. This is debit. Okay. Manufacturing overhead, credit. Okay. So another example, different example, non-manufacturing cost example. What are possible example? Number one, example of salary expense of employees that work in marketing, selling, or administrative capacity. These are overhead. Okay? This cannot be attributed to a product, but they are overhead. So salaries expense, debit, salaries payable, credit. Okay? Why we have so many examples like this in financial accounting video lectures? Just go to our video lectures and then you can understand. Okay. So again, do this in your general journal sheet or booklet. Okay. The next one is, the next sample is advertising expenses are expensed in period incurred. So what is this? Advertising expense, accounts payable. So since they are expense, they have to be debited. And since they are payable, they have to be credited. So Do this minimum 10 times and use an actual value. Think of any value to be written on the debit side, and also that same value, write it on the credit side. Another value for advertising expense, another value for salaries expense. Okay? Okay? Do it repeatedly, just to practice writing it down, just to practice. Okay? Another example, cost of goods manufactured. As jobs are completed, the cost of goods manufactured is transferred to finished goods from work in process. So, work in process will ultimately be finished. So, they are finished goods. So, what will happen? Some amount will finish, and therefore that specific amount will become finished product. So, put an amount on the debit side for finished goods, and that same amount have to be copied into the credit side for what? Work in process. Do it again minimum 10 times. It's better to use general journal sheet, or you can create your own by using ruler and like the lines. Okay. You can buy a booklet, general journal booklet, so that you can practice. No? So 10 repetition again for this. So, but it is not necessarily required to buy. You can do it. You can make your own by just using ball pen and ruler. Okay. Another example, journal entry when there are sales. No? When finished goods are sold, 2 entries are required. Number 1, what is the requirement to record the sale? And number 2, record cost of goods and reduce finished goods. So therefore, the finished goods, the number of finished product decreased because it was already at the hands of the client. Okay? So let us record the sale. So how much is the money given to us by the client? So that is the sales, and accounts receivable or cash. You can use either accounts receivable or cash for the debit side. So the debit amount, think of any number and do it also for credit portion. Okay. So cost of goods sold again will be different amount, less than the sales amount, in order to have a profit. If the sales amount in cost of goods sold is the same, you don't have any profit. Okay. So cost of goods sold should be an amount less than the sales amount, and then use that debit amount also to the credit, the same amount. Okay. And under the what? Finished goods. So this is the end for the current module number 4, and I expect you to practice. This current example on the screen, do it again for minimum of 10 times, 10 repetitions. Repeat this. And while doing all this practice, try to watch the journalizing method, how to do it on the financial accounting review that we done. There are so many videos there to help you understand how to do journal entry. Okay. Aside from, you can also do your own self-study and self-research. Okay. Aside from our materials. So I expect you to have a practice that is good enough, acceptable enough. Okay? Acceptable enough. I don't require perfect, but acceptable enough. Okay? So that's all for this video lecture. This is Dr. DrEYPEI, preaching engineering for nation building.